What is up, Scar Knight, bringing you a brand new Generation 2 episode? I'm not really sure what I should call this. It's the series where we feature Dark and Windy's Fakemon. Pretty much I wanted to do a whole Fakemon thing where I wanted to show them off. It first started with the one where, like, for example, Master Mime and Prince Ice and stuff like that, and I wanted to go into a whole, spectrum of Fakemon. Turns out I picked up the one where he was like one of the hardest working Fakemon creators pretty much ever, because he made like more than 1,000 Fakemon for us to see. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do, but this is the region of the Quilo region, I believe, and I didn't realize that you could just click in a certain spot to make it look like a Bulbapedia page. The entire time I was just looking them through just the picture files by themselves. But there's something else I wanted to note. I kept referring to this certain guy that I thought was a commission person that just paid for this stuff, and no, it turns out that guy, he just decided to just pick his favorite Pokemon. He's more into the creepy style, ghost skeleton look that I keep mentioning. I forget what his name was. It's Prison Keeper, that's right. Prison Keeper was the guy. Yeah, the entire time I kept doing like saying Prison Keeper commission this and that. No, it's just some random dude that just like picked certain files that he was really into. Cause he keeps a whole section of people that commission him to create these Fakemon. All these are his original designs. Or they could be inspired by something else, who knows. Either way though, we're gonna go start, because we got like about, what was it, like 212 I believe for Generation 2? Yeah, 212, so a lot to cover here. But yeah, there's certain clicks to get to that. It wasn't the most obvious thing to me. It might be obvious to somebody else, but I don't know. But first Pokemon we got is Limtar, I suppose. It evolves from, or into, well, I shouldn't say that yet. I want to introduce them one by one and just talk about how, they look. So this looks like, I want to say it's a flying squirrel, but it kind of looks more anime-less than a squirrel. It looks almost like a cat and dog. I actually like this thing. I almost forgot that I was doing a whole design thing. Yeah, this is where I critique the designs, whether they could fit perfectly into Pokemon or not. For this one, I think I could see them in Pokemon. I like the colorations with like there's like different greens here and there. Dark green, like a swamp green, and a leaf green. It's like a light green right there. And it complements right with the yellow, and the blues are there with the eyes and the tail. This Pokemon right here, oh jeez, I just spoiled myself with all these other Pokemon. Yeah, Limtar, it's cool. I wonder if there's any trivia on this. Nope, it's just that. Okay, so I guess I didn't really miss too much. I just didn't know what levels certain Pokemon evolved to. I just saw it and I'm like, oh, okay, well this and that. I might look back into it and just say some stuff here and there. Hopefully I don't say any Pokemon that evolved from something else. But the next Pokemon is Targyle. Looks more like it's going towards the bat side. Sharper, I almost said fangs. I guess he does have a tooth. Sharper nails and fingers. That's the thing about middle stage evolutions, is they either look cool or either look ugly. Obviously this one's the cool one. I always felt that way when it's like, for example, like Charmeleon, and an ugly stage evolution would be something like, I can't even think of it, Gloom, I guess. I consider Gloom ugly. I don't know. I guess I don't mind Gloom all that much. I noticed that the tail has like a sprout coming out of it, which is interesting. Still grass flying type, of course. I wonder if it might potentially turn into a dragon. Oh no, I already said it. Okay, the interesting part that I noticed, hang on, let me look back at the other Pokemon again. It says grass flying. Oh, that's just a mistake on the thing. That's weird. And one of the pages it says Limbitar, it says it's just grass type on the Targyle page on the bottom. Alright, never mind. I thought that was something else. It says in the Pokédex entry, the seed in his tail has sprouted, giving it more agility. His tail allowed it to swing from tree branches before it lets go and takes off with the larger wings. The next Pokemon is what evolves into, and speaking of, from the first one to the second stage, it evolves at level 17, and this one to level 38. This is Breathith. I'm going to be mispronouncing all of these. It's much bigger. It's not exactly what I was expecting for it to evolve into. I guess it does look more dragon-esque, and the end of the tail shows like almost a tail again, almost like a flower. I thought it was gonna be like a whole different thing. I thought it was gonna sprout out to be, for some reason, a lot crazier in my head. Like when I was thinking, you know, rapid thoughts. I don't know about this evolution. I'm kind of curious. Like, I can imagine it in the anime solely because, like, if it flies, I feel like his wings would extend and it would be like really, really ginormous. But I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It says the flower at the end of its tail gives off wind that allows it to move quicker and precisely. Its fluent motions and agility as it leaps from branches cannot be matched by any other Pokemon. But the first stage evolution is something that I would consider, but I have to look at all the other starter Pokemon, so I'll just save which ones I will pick. And you know, it could count as first stage and then the final stage evolution, but I wasn't sure what it was going to be at first, because like the first one kind of looks like some type of mouse, cat, dog variant, and then like I thought it was obvious at the second stage it would be a bat. Dragon thing, but now it just looks like a dragon. Alright, next Pokemon is called Jersinge. It's a gerbil Pokemon. It looks like it needs a pitchfork. That's what it needs. It actually looks a lot cartoony. I don't think it really fits Pokemon very much. Well, speaking of like the last grass starter Pokemon, I don't think it would fit in Pokemon either. But for this one, I don't know. It looks very devilish. For some reason, I don't think fire type when I look at this, you know, despite it being the devil associated with fire. The stripe on their head glow when they use fire type moves. The wings allow it to fly short distances, allowing them to attack from above. And it is fire, it just says fire type, so he cannot fly. That's what I was gonna say with the first stage evolution of the grass type starter. Okay, so it can't fly, but it says it can, but it doesn't count as a flying type. Okay, it's a bit interesting. It says it's the cryptid Pokemon. Yeah, I think it's a bit too cartoony, is the only thing. Alright, so here's Bursinge. This is what it evolves into. This is my favorite color right here, is dark red. I love dark red so much. But it still has a cartoony feel to it. The horns are really big. I do like the horns. The wings are really nice and sharp. And the tail is kind of cool, but it almost comes off like if he was... Well, not exactly. I was going to say Mr. Tumnus, but not exactly. I have a vibe that, yeah, he's fire type, but almost have a fighting feel to it. Of course, it looks also like flying, but I can see that where it's leaning to. It's not going to be that. It's going to be... and also, this is level 17 to level 38. This is Arsenite right here. It's gonna be to fire dark type. Now the thing about this, wait, am I missing anything by the way? I do like the name Arsenite though, that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know, this Pokemon doesn't really fit. Is the whole line either feels cartoony or something else? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't really see it. The middle stage evolutions, like I like the wings better than I do on this one. The fires remind me of Omega Ruby. It says in the Pokédex entry, according to folklore, if a person dies, an Arsenite will burn their body, but leave the soul for its consumption. It loves the screams of agony it causes when it burns a human. Knowing that its flames burn will never go away. That's pretty morbid. So here's Quendro. Quendro is interesting. It's well, it says it's a dragon Pokemon. That's not what the thoughts I had in my head. It looks kind of bird-esque to me. I thought it was almost like a platypus. Even though there was a platypus in like the other, in Generation 1. Or no. Yeah, never mind. I thought it was a penguin for a second. It might have been. I'm pretty sure it was a platypus though. It evolves into... Oh no, I can't say that yet. But it evolves differently. Unlike the other two evolutions as I see right here. Interesting color, and I like the purple shading. They spend most of their time playing in or near the water. Their fairy tails are said to be a symbol of peace, and if they are droopy or oily, it is a sign that Quendro has been injured. He has the Unburden hidden ability, which is interesting. I need to really dictate what it is until the end of the evolution. So it goes to 4 legs. This is Dracotic. It loves laying at the bottom of the sea, viewing all the battles from the dark crevices it calls home. Using its crest and whiskers, it is able to read water currents and know when the water has been tainted. It does have like the nice purples going throughout the body. It's almost like it turned opposite, because I could swear that it almost looked like algae. It used to be purple and now it's blue. Yeah, it's not very Pokemon-esque. But like I do imagine like the water lineup so far in a different series. So here's Turley Gun. Actually, I do like this one. Has a very good sea dragon look to it, almost like a Pegasus. I like this one a lot. Good coloring, good purples. It says its whiskers and fins are able to detect when a tsunami or massive rainstorm is about to occur. It is highly recognized for helping civilians that are plagued by said disasters. Yeah, but this evolves differently. It's from level 18 to level 36, unlike the other ones were level 17 to 38. Oh man, now it's a tough one. At first I wasn't really feeling the water starters, but if it evolves in the end to this, then I think I have to go with the water starter, solely because of the final evolution. He looks pretty dope. Before then, because when I saw the middle stage evolution, I already decided I wanted the grass starter, because even though the final evolution not really so much, but this changed it. This changed it for me. So this is Martimid, the timid Pokemon. This actually has a lot of similarities to something as well from Pokemon Uranium. But I do like the design. A really nice choice of having really light blue eyes and decent colors for something that's a normal type. Yeah, I don't mind this thing at all. A very agile Pokemon, Martimid is able to run extremely quick in order to escape enemies. If approached, they will shake erratically out of fright and release heat. It releases heat, so I'm speculating possibly ice type or perhaps fire type. I don't know. So the next evolution is Martel. Oh, it's fire type. Because I thought it released heat. I thought he was so used to the ice that he warms himself up. But I guess now that I'm saying that out loud, it just sounds obvious. Martel has whiskers. It kind of almost looks like a mini Shao. I know I shouldn't compare so much with other Pokemon, but it just can't help it. It also has the same colorations. Well, not exactly, but it also reminds me of a Heatmore. Kind of almost the same color patterns. And Delphox, I suppose. But not exactly. I don't know. I like the first evolution a lot better. But normal fire type. If I were to catch it, would I want to have this thing? Well, most of the time I don't really go for like, you know, the normal type Route 1 Pokemon. So, but if I were to see it against me in like an opponent or something, then I don't know. I wouldn't see it as much as a threat. It's a nice choice with the yellow nails and such. Martel's hands are able to be set ablaze to help in battles. It hates intimidation and will always lunge at enemies that anger it. And Martimid evolves into this thing at level 20. Erhar, definitely a dinosaur, has a hill on top of his back. Kind of has like a scrafty head thing. And let's see, it's a ground type. Okay, looks like almost as well as a Rampardos, except without the skull thing. These Pokemon are able to create minuscule earthquakes by laying on their backs and spinning rapidly. They travel in groups, and the one with the biggest crest is the leader. It has Arena Trap and Sandstream as the abilities. And I shouldn't scroll down too much because then I'll get spoiled by the other ones. So when it says it spins around rapidly to create earthquakes. Oh, they lay on their backs. Okay, I see. It's okay. I feel like the color choices could be just a little bit better, but at the same time, if most ground types, they shouldn't be too, the whole point, like, it shouldn't be too vibrant, I suppose. I feel like a good yellow would be good in the mix somewhere. It doesn't have to be just change color from brown to yellow. I mean, like, if they had yellow markings or something, maybe it would be better. Like, if it had camo look to it, I suppose. It evolves into Terrar at level 25. I got it like a Tantrum, or Tyrantrum I should say, camera feel when I see this thing. I like it and I don't like it at the same time. It's weird. I feel like if I use it a lot, I would get used to it. I would have an Exeggutor effect. Not to say that it's like, you know, Exeggutor-esque, but I feel like that effect will happen. They cause massive earthquakes by driving their legs into the ground, vibrating them. They live buried deep underground, which is interesting because he has like a hill on its back, but I guess, you know, it's whatever. It's still ground type. It should definitely learn Stomping Tantrum though, because, you know, since I said the whole Tantrum instead of Tyrantrum thing. Still has Arena Trap or Sandstream. I feel like this Pokemon would be a huge issue if I run into it in the wild. But it has to be in Victory Road. That would suck though, like if it was in a Nuzlocke. Jesus, get caught up with this thing. Flamapple. It's an apple with like a fire candle thing on it. It has like 2 other evolutions. It's grass fire type. That's cool. The flames that erupt from Flamapple's body resembles leaves, fooling many people who encounter them. Their bodies are hollow, but can still pack an explosive charge when these Pokemon are startled. So like they're... Wait. If he... So they're... I almost said cherry bombs, but it's not a cherry, it's an apple. Did he make a cherry variant? Because I see all the other names, and I don't see cherries. Dark and Windy, what the heck? I'm just kidding, no. I like the concept. It reminds me of that thing from Wreck-It Ralph where it's like Candlehead or whatever his name is. I think it's supposed to be a cake in that movie. For this one, I do like the concept, and I don't mind any Pokemon that are like this. You know, like I mentioned, I talked about this Pokemon, you know, the Cloud one, and I wouldn't, like I said, it's concept based, so I do approve. But it evolves into Peachar at level 13. Peachar, not what I was expecting at all. So it's a... I feel like this should be a ghost type. I mean, yes, it's fruit, but I feel like it should have like a third type because it transforms into one fruit into another. But that's not fair to say either, because like I always say as an example, there's always Seagull that evolves into Pelipper, and it's literally from a seagull to a pelican, which have no relations. They're 2 different species, so it's not really fair to say. But you know, apples and oranges is what I'm thinking. It's able to envelop its body in its green flames. Humans get too close. If humans get too close, the fuzz on its body can stuck on your body, and will cause a burning sensation on the skin within 20 minutes. Is it like a peach fuzz, I guess? The only problem with the Peachar that I have, and it has a sharp tooth, I see that there. The only problem I have with the Peachar is that when I think of peaches, I think that they're soft and has soft colors to them. And this one, like if you were to show this to somebody, they wouldn't think peach right off the bat. They would think, you know, maybe an orange, maybe a pumpkin, maybe a like peach wouldn't be like the first thought, because if you were to color it as a peach, it would have like pinks and yellows and orange and, you know, one of the 3, but it has to be, I mean, it has orange, sure, but it's just all orange, you know. It has chlorophyll or flame body. Chlorophyll is, I guess, because it's a sunny day. Yeah, I didn't even notice, but they added the Japanese names, which is interesting. Monima, Mamina. I wonder if he had to work with somebody to do these translations or something. But at level 26, it evolves into Pyreer. You know what this reminds me of? Oh wait, what was I gonna say? It reminds me of one of those things that Kirby rides, and these also remind me of Kirby characters. But like the big tire that has like the flames coming out off the nozzles or gauges or whatever they're called. That's what it reminds me of. I do feel like they should be ghost type as well, but they can't add 3 types. That's just what I think of. Maybe it should have been grass ghost type. But I guess then it wouldn't really be fire very much. Because that all looks like plasma, is the thing. That yellow thing reminds me of Pig Knight, by the way. I do like the face. I don't know. I guess I'm a sucker for those faces. You know, it's appealing, you know. Wait. Final form for okay, never mind. I misread that. It explodes when it is frightened. Pokemon and humans who attempt to eat it end up getting very unpleasant surprise. Is it the shits? I don't know. And the hidden ability is also solar power. Pyreer and Flamapple I do approve, but at the same time I don't really. They could pass as Pokemon, but I feel like they're more so closer to Kirby characters. Hisano is the next Pokemon. I think I've seen this a couple times. Wait, no, I saw a different variant of this. Wait, hang on. Yeah, that's what I thought. Prinkata. And then there's this one. It'd be cool if they're different rivals. But this one looks closer to a Cobra already. It's the Rattle Pokemon, so it's also a Rattlesnake. Okay, the interesting thing I see here says Bug Poison. Interesting. It evolves super early. Wait. I'm even more confused now. Hang on. How is it a bug? That's interesting. Hisano use their rattles at the end of their tails to communicate with each other. They mainly feast on leaves, but love to eat rodents on occasion. It's very interesting that it's a bug type. Don't really agree on it, but oh well. It evolves into Disgoon. For some reason I thought, like, when I saw this Pokemon, I thought it was gonna be the previous evolution, and it was like, you know, a generation skip. It's like, oh, and by the way, it also evolves into this. But no, Disgoon is bug poison type. At least this one looks more like a bug. The other one looks like a straight up snake. Is the problem? It's like, I don't know. So my guess is it fakes its prey into going towards this toy lookalike thing, and then it eats it pretty much. It evolves at level 10, and then again at level 15 to something else, which we'll cover in a second. It has shed skin and compound eyes. This peculiar Pokemon, I didn't even read that right. This peculiar Pokemon appearance has puzzled scientists for centuries. It hangs from trees and closes its actual eyes, which are on its bottom half, making it appear of a doll as it awaits evolution. It just says it puzzles scientists, only because about the toy. I'm surprised they didn't say anything about prey and it being the predator. It says disguise Pokemon. I guess, alright, I guess that makes more sense, like if it disguises itself. But I thought it would disguise to attack, like a sneak attack. It evolves into Hibarash. Okay, now it is obvious that it's a bug. Because like the first evolution looks like a straight up Cobra, like a rattlesnake, my dude. It evolves super early though at level 15. Collarwing Pokemon. I do like this Pokemon, however, I don't... okay, I'll give it that. Yeah, it will work in Pokemon. It uses its collars as wings to fly around. When not in flight, it folds its wings and lie in bushes to avoid being bothered. Oh, bother. Poison Point or Compound Eyes, and its hidden ability is Early Bird. I don't think its hidden ability should be Early Bird. It should be, what's that? Effect Spore or something. It's a moth, pretty much. Alright, the next Pokemon is Terraspo. It's a dark psychic type. It's very interesting. These Pokemon are born on the sticks they float on. Okay, so apparently they float on this. Their yellow eyes are said to enable them to sense anything that will happen in the past. present or future, as well as give them mystical powers. So what you're saying is, if I eat the eagle egg, I'll get the mystical powers? And it says in his later evolution, it'll evolve if it's exposed to a dust stone. It says it's the sensory Pokemon. When I first saw this, like the very first thought in my head, I'm all like, it's probably a bamboo. Those eyes have the exact same eyes as Mega Pinsir. Mega Pinsir looks like a predator with those eyes, but this one, I don't really get the vibe. Okay, yeah, sure, like psychic type, but I was gonna say it looks like it hypnosis Pokemon rather than sees the future or anything like that. If I were to make a Pokemon to look like it's seeing the pretty much time itself, I would make it more like a cosmic look. I would have like shades of purple in the eyes, and like, or possibly blues or certain shades of black to make it look kind of like space. Because this one looks like it hypnotizes Pokemon, making them fall asleep, and it's a koala or a kitty cat, either one. Its Japanese name is Kankane. I'm not saying that right. It evolves into Ispaltar. Okay, it's Master Chifu. It's a very interesting choice. I guess it's not the most obvious thing to me that it floats because it's on the picture, but this one, it almost reminds me of Floette as well. Kind of, not really. Their eyes are more powerful and allow them to see into anybody's past or future. According to old folktales, an Ispaltar is able to destroy a person's past, causing them to vanish them into thin air. That sounds super broken. I don't know. The color patterns, like black and white, always does work together, but there's something off about this. I'm not really sure, and I'm not even sure about the flower thing either. Something about this doesn't just fit together. It's interesting though. Rafit is the next Pokemon. Very colorful Pokemon. Nice choices of color. It does remind me of something. I don't know what. It's interesting that it's a normal flying type. It actually looks a lot better than Chatot. I could say that much. Something about the head's weird too though. That's what probably reminds me of something. I don't know. If you think about it, just think about like his face being a TV, and then like it's just a bird face on it, or like a computer monitor. But I do like all the choices here. These Pokemon colors vary depending on their location. Their beautiful feathers they shed can be collected and used for many articles of clothing. I'm kind of interested in seeing what other colors it could be. I really would like to see like an actual Scarlet Macaw with one of these colors, like if it was red and then white in the face, and then like maybe the signature green, blue, and you know, the pretty much what a macaw has. That'd be cool. And like, if it wasn't a video game, how would you separate the locations? Like, would it depend on like environments too? Because like, for example, if it was snowy, would it be like more so of a cockatoo, so it'd be all white with yellow feathers? But then at the same time, they're not really known for being a snowy Pokemon. But oh well. I think you know what I'm trying to say. It evolves into Quizluf or Quilzuff at level 16. Whoa, what's this here? There are over 30 different known feather color patterns on Quizzuff. With their feathery hoods start, what does that say, molting? It is a sign that they are about to evolve. What does that mean, hoods? Okay, so it's confirmed that there's 30 different colors of them. Yeah, so you remember what I said about the middle stage evolutions? Yeah, so not really. I mean, it's always a thing with middle stage evolutions. It's either like, you know, I don't really want to say too much, but I think I made it sound obvious with my reaction. It evolves into Fellheads at level 32. So when I look at this Pokemon, I do like all the color choices here. What I find most interesting is the wing itself, because there's like a certain pattern with the stems of where the, you know, like if you saw a skeleton structure of a bird, like towards the wing, and like kind of x-ray it where all the feathers come from. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I feel like the color choices could be a little bit stronger, but he chose to go a little bit lighter. It's okay though, regardless. The tail's interesting choice, but other than that, it's like a better Unpheasant, pretty much. The hood it had as a Rusfets and Quetzalcoatl has melted off, giving it better sight and coordination. It molds its feathers once every month, and each time they change colors. And molts its feathers. I'm not understanding these words. Hoods and molts? I need to look back at the Pokemon. Also, wait. So it's an actual hood. So is he able to just take it off then? Huh. Okay, so I'm starting to understand it now. I'm feeling dumb about it too. That's probably why, because he doesn't have the dark green in him anymore. I'm looking at the other Pokemon and just seeing this. Okay, I don't mind this. Could they fit in Pokemon? I feel like the first two evolutions could. The last one's iffy though, which is the surprising part, because I don't mind this thing. So here's Fragrass. I feel like I've seen this character before. Fragrance Pokemon. The Japanese name is Amukusuka. Is a fairy poison type. Very interesting choice. Has the it's a skunk. I saw the ability. It says stench or healer. Hidden ability is limber, which is interesting. I feel like it wouldn't be limber. It should be infatuation, where it, it makes a Pokemon attracted to it. It should have been that. Fragrass. Okay, so it's fragrance. It is able to give off multitude of odors that can either be pleasant or repugnant. They stand on their arms and spray the air with a sweet odor when they are happy. I like the design choice. The only problem is it's a bit too vibrant with these pinks and purples. I know that's weird to say, but I'm pretty sure in the anime people wouldn't even notice. But other than that, it's good. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, even in the anime, even if something's too bright, like, you could imagine it, this Pokemon right next to Pikachu, and it wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, he's too bright. So, yeah, I do like it a lot. It does evolve into something else. At level 26, it evolves into Aeromunk. Is supposed to be like a play on words for aroma and skunk. Still fairy poison type. I do like the concept when it comes to the typings. That's really cool. It has a red nose and red eyelid. I feel like it's not that fitting on this Pokemon, but that's like very minor picking. But that's just like pinch of salt nitpicking. Nothing too big. It has a fairly arrogant attitude and will not listen to its trainer unless it accepts its stench. Oh my god, I can't read. Their waste generally smells nice, so it is often collected and transformed for some of the best perfume. Wait. So I think the last Pokemon said that it's like really bad smells. Oh, okay. No, it says it's either good or bad. So yeah, you know that Pepe Le Pew thing where like the cat always somehow finds a way to mark its back with like white paint of some kind. Like, I remember there was an episode where a cat just walks by and he sees like a freshly painted bench. For some reason, like, puts his back onto it, like tries to, have affection to it. It sounds weird, but you know how a cat like would do that to someone's leg just to like relax and stretch themselves? It did that to the white bench and it marked itself with white paint. So like Pepe Le Pew thought it was a skunk and like did not let it go. I just wanted to share. That's all I wanted to do. Anyway, the next Pokemon is Vavol. It's another French type Pokemon. Looks also like a Flabébé, Ringkeeper Pokemon. Kind of gives me a vibe of Klefki as well, and Hoopa. But that's just like concept things. Japanese name is Babu. Q-Charm or Prankster, Frengard. It almost seems like, I don't mean to again like compare to so many other things, but Q-Charm, that's what I was thinking of. Why did I say infatuation? I don't know. Whatever. But like when I think of Prankster, like Klefki is one of the first Pokemon I think of. Bavu never lets go of the ring it carries. It loves sucking on rings because it enjoys the metallic taste. Freaking suck on like doorknobs or something. No, but it only accepts rings. I can imagine an episode of it like sucking on a wedding ring or something. I shouldn't use the word sucking and like give it emphasis of the sucking part. You know, sucking. But yeah, I get a huge Floette vibe because what's the size of this thing? It's 0.11 inches. Yeah, that's probably why. But the thing is about Dark and Windy, he's been making Pokemon for a very long time. So if he wants to confirm whether this is like before or after, because he's been making it for, I forget what he said. I think he said 5 years. It's very possible that he did this right before X and Y, because his X and Y came out like 4 years ago, and this is Generation 2. Just remember that. Out of 15 generations, it evolves into Voila at level 25. Not what I expected for it to evolve into. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was expecting like some Florges related thing, but no, it reminds me of a Chow from Sonic. It's just fairy type. Was the other one just fairy type too? I didn't really see. Yes, it is. Okay. It also reminds me of that Digimon from like Generation 3 Digimon. I know I'm not supposed to say generations, but I guess season, or was it season 3? It's like that white Digimon with the purple. It just always goes around and acts cute and shit. Hula Hoop Pokemon. It loves to use the rings it collects its toys, using them mostly as hula hoops. The rings are able to form a barrier around Voila that is able to deflect attacks. Very defensive Pokemon, of course. Supportive Pokemon. Yeah, I could definitely see this in Pokemon as well. It's 1 foot 7 inches, so it's about not as tall as my mic, I think. But yeah, definitely these two could be in Pokemon. The only thing is that the first evolution is a bit too similar to Floette and like, you know, Flabébé and stuff. Squeak, very odd choices of colors. It almost have, and I know for a fact this came before type null, because it has, that's just what it reminds me of when I see the fishtail, because it had like the fishtail as well. Adaptability and protein is this hidden ability. The ice is interesting. I don't know, this is a very odd Pokemon, very odd, and that's probably why I see like all the things underneath it. It's a normal type field mouse Pokemon, and it's exposed to 3 different stones. It'll evolve into 3 different things, so you can't help but think that it's like another Eevee variant, is the thing. But yeah, very odd. Its genetic structure has been influenced by scientists, allowing it to evolve into 3 different creatures. They love to gnaw on wood and cheese. Okay, so this was scientist made. Very interesting. Oh, so I guess the evolutions of the Pokemon it will evolve into also could evolve into even further. Okay. So with the Thunderstone to evolve Squeak, it'll evolve into Icarord. I do like the color choices. It definitely gives off like a cheese vibe. Something soft about it. I don't know, but it's acceptable. Volt Absorb and Static Adaptability. It loves to shock anything that comes close to it with its tail. They plug their tails into outlets in order to gain more electricity power. Or electrical power, I should say. I don't know, there's something off about it. So from this and from the other two, it's not what you think. It's not like fire, water, thunder. It's like thunder, fire, and whatever dusk is. This is what it is, and it will evolve even further at level 30 into Light Volt. Light Volt is what I'm curious about. Okay, not what I was expecting at all. It looks kind of like a kangaroo. Thunderbolt Pokemon, and it has a gigantic, I'm assuming it's a battery, but it looked like a straight up drum when I first saw it. It has like red hair and red scales on his back and red toes. But yeah, it says it is able to create over 9 million kilowatts of electricity with its tail. They throw orbs of electricity from their pouches that can reduce a tank to ashes. So it's very powerful. Yeah, there's something off about the Thunder lineup, but the first one is acceptable. This one, I guess I can imagine it. The only problem is the tail. The tail, and I guess I mean, I would change the red to something else, honestly, but the tail's the only thing that I just can't see that's gonna be in Pokemon. And I always will keep on saying like, oh, it won't fit Pokemon, because if you're making Fakemon that are based on what you want to be in Pokemon, then they should be Pokemon-esque, because like you can't have certain characters that doesn't fit in certain series. That's just like if I make up a character in Dragon Ball Z and people will know right quick that it doesn't belong there. That's what I mean. Hopefully I justify it or something. Like I'll probably draw a Dragon Ball Z character unless I'm lazy. I don't know. I'll probably find something online. Anyway, this is, I believe, the Duststone evolution of Squeak. Yes, it is. I do like the way it looks, honestly. A good grappling crescent in its tail, and it looks demon-esque. I like this Pokemon. Wicked Pokemon. I wouldn't mind using this thing. It's fully dark type. It blends in with the shadow so nobody knows if it follows them at night. Their tail is so dangerous that it could rip out someone's heart out with one stab. Jesus Christ, with the morbid stuff. This thing could literally kill you. I guess most Pokemon can, but just the morbidity, is that the word? I don't know. I'm having high expectations now what the final evolution will be. But the ability is Shadow Tag, which is a scary thought. Like if you were in real life and you see this thing, like goddamn. Hidden abilities is adaptability. Okay, next Pokemon is Light or Violent, and this is what it looks like. I feel like it's very close, but at least it looks still like kind of like a mouse or rat or something. Something about the body structure is what I don't really agree with, but I do like this Pokemon nonetheless. So far it's one of the best of the 3 so far, even though I haven't seen the last one. But I don't mind this thing. I do like it. Does it fit in Pokemon? It ripping its heart out and stuff? If they PG'd it, would it still fit? I think this one will. I think Violent will, but it wouldn't be called Violent. It'd probably be something else. The first evolution I feel like is a little bit too demonic. Like a bunch of Christian moms would freak out on that Pokemon. It lures lost travelers into the woods with its cry, which is able to make sound like a child. According to old tales, those who have encountered it are said to be sent to an eternal abyss of pain and agony. Alright. Hidden abilities Anger Point, which is interesting, and of course the ability is Shadow Tag as well. What kind of, like, how does the child sound like from Violent? I don't know. Very, very morbid, but I guess that's what happens when you're a dark type. Alright, now it's the water variant. Or no, or is it the fire variant? I think it's the fire variant. Marodin. Oh no, it's the water variant. I thought it was the fire type. What the heck? I like this thing a lot. I think, I don't want to say it's like outright better than Vaporeon, but it is like a better concept when you think of Merlion, because Vaporeon you would think like, oh, I could create like a, if you were to create a water evolution for that Pokemon, you wouldn't really go for Vaporeon very much. But for this one, it's actually pretty designed well. For some reason the ears on my picture is cut off, maybe because it has white ears, but I actually like this thing a lot. It's a lot better than the Merlion Vaporeon. It is a role model to younger water Pokemon because of its calm and confident nature. It reminds me of myself. They're tall. Oh, they're tall. Their tails sway from side to side in order for it to get a good sense of direction. Yeah, I always say calm and confident. Not really. The confident thing, that's debatable. But the calm thing, people tell me that I'm calm. That's why I say that. Water Veil and adaptability as well. All right. Again, having high expectations definitely for this one. So at level 30, it will evolve into Sudsy. Okay, it's decent. So the pose is interesting. Endurance Pokemon. So I'm guessing it swims really fast. Water Veil, and it has the hidden ability of Drizzle. This would be. It looks bulky as well as the Vaporeon, but is this one better than Vaporeon? It needs to have a different pose for it to look, I don't know, because it's like on the ground. They are able to create giant waves by blasting water from its tails. Known as a calm and admirable leader, these Pokemon mentor others in order for them to show their true strength. It still has a nice color choice and still good Merlion. Yeah, I would say this is better than Vaporeon too, but I like the previous evolution a lot better. Could they fit in Pokemon? Okay, let's pretend Vaporeon isn't there. Would it fit? Like, let's just pretend Eevee doesn't have a water evolution, or perhaps if it had like a whole different look to this water evolution, and this would be its own thing. And don't include the mouse. Don't say that the mouse would be in there too. If it's just Merodin and Celsi, would this fit? I think so. I think it would fit. But you would have to get rid of Vaporeon in order to do it. But yeah, I think a lot of people will like this Pokemon. These two. Banana Nug. Oh, it's a slug Pokemon. I thought it was just like a I literally thought it was just a banana peel. So yeah, concept based. How is okay, the one thing though, how come this is just bug type? If like you have fruits that are on fire, that's grass fire type, and it's a banana, and it's a, you know, bananas are fruit, how come it's not grass bug type? I know it's very weak to fire, but you can't just not do it. I thought literally it was just a banana peel on my screen. I'm all like, there's nothing to it. You just draw the banana peel. I would say this is concept based. The face is, you know, it's a slug. It's not supposed to be lively or excited. If I were to design it, if you were to tell me how would I change this, I would make it because, you know, how you would see banana peels, people slip on them, right? What if it's like a slug that is very prankstery? You know, it would have like a or either prankstery or it's scared for his life because he's hoping no one would step on it. Either one or the other. This one's very sleepy, but that's because it might be too slow or you know, when you're tired, you just move slower. It's just inevitable. It is covered in a slimy film that lets attacks slide off of it. It disguises itself with a raw banana peel in order to keep it hidden from predators. Yeah, but what if the predators slip on it? It says slow start and sticky hold. Yeah. You know, like a sloth where it looks tired all the time. It's kind of like that. But I feel like there's like two different things to make it a little bit more interesting as a Pokemon. Design wise, it's a little lacking, to be honest. But it evolves into Slugana, into this thing. A little bit better. Like, if this was real life, this would be really, really gross, to be completely honest. I need to look at the rest. Wait, does that have the final evolution? No, it doesn't. So, again, if I were to add something, I would have like a bunch of bananas. But that's the problem. I don't know after that, like, what would the slug look like. Maybe it would be like one of those bugs that, like, you know, similar to Burmy that's on something. But his head wouldn't be poking out of the bunch of bananas. It would be a little bit different. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I would have a bunch of bananas. A banana in a bunch. Wait a second. What does that say? Something's in the Pokédex entry. When it is asleep, it goes into banana peel and cloaks itself, making it look like the normal fruit. They sometimes hang from Tropius' neck until their peels are ripened and then they fall off. Okay, so it comes from an actual Pokemon, Tropius. Oh man, that's gross to think about. Like, if Tropius, if you just see a banana just fall off and then this thing comes out. But yeah, if it had a bunch of bananas, maybe it shouldn't be a bug that's just sticking on a tree or something. It should... I don't know. I would definitely have a bunch of bananas though, but there would have to be an interesting concept of what the slug is doing. I don't want just another Burmy clone to just have like a bug just stuck on a tree and then like a face sticking out. Or since it is a slug, maybe the bunch of bananas, it's pretty much a shell and it's just like sliding away or whatever. It could be like that, but then like there's not really much of a shell. But it can, like when it sleeps, it hangs on the tree and it fools people or whatever. That's something I would do. But again, I wouldn't have it having a sleepy kind of look to it. I mean, in this pose, it doesn't look all that sleepy, but it's alright. It is concept based after all. At least I think so. But it should be grass bug type. If you're making a fruit and the other one before was grass something, then this should be as well. This is Dendaseed. I think I saw this Pokemon before. I'm pretty sure. 235. Dendaseed. It's a dandelion. It's honestly a bit too simple. Like the face is the only thing that is different. And it's almost the same concept of a different Fakemon person as well. It loves letting the wind blow it around. It is very docile and gentle Pokemon that loves to be around humans. Chlorophyll or Leaf Guard. Infiltrator is the ability. And it evolves with the Sunstone. It makes sense. It is just a grass type Pokemon. Fluffline. I get what he's going for, but like somebody also made this. But the good thing is, it is a better design than this said Pokemon. It scatters fluff around fields in order for more Dendaseed to be born, and acts as a parent among group. I know I shouldn't, like, I keep comparing Pokemon and saying that another person made it first. It really shouldn't be about that. If the person feels like, because that's the good thing, right? Like, you made a better design than the other one. I can't really stop it from just saying it. Like, if I have a video game and I have like, if I have like Super Smash Brothers and I make another fighting game that's similar to it, like Sony PlayStation All-Stars, and they have minor differences. I know that's not really a good example, but I can't really think of it in the top of my head. Okay, maybe no, that's not a good example because they're not similar enough. You get what I'm trying to say. Like, there are two different things, you can't help but think about it. Regardless, there should be a Dandelion Pokemon. Problem is, the first stage, just like the other one, I do believe, should be something more different. They should have something else to it. Like, Flabebe has a good concept, but like, I wish Flabebe wasn't just like a little fairy holding a flower. I feel like Flabebe should be holding some type of little dandelion on his little hands, you know, because there's plenty of flowers. There's always going to be a flower Pokemon somehow, some way. Here's Buddy. It's a butter Pokemon, grass fairy type, which is interesting. It's not what I expect looking at this thing. It does have, like, I already asked Dark and Windy if he was thinking about making a game. He said yeah, he thought like about regions, but not ever had a game that he wanted, just like what he ideally want throughout what routes or whatever, what areas. But then he tweeted out that like maybe I should consider for a game, because like this Pokemon, when it later evolves, you could trade them, but that's just concept, you know, because he's just wanting to add Pokemon that will be able to be tradable. This one, a little bit simple, but not too bad. Interesting color choice. It has like a little hungry, droopy mouth to it. It evolves into Budelf. This is actually a good design. I like this design. Not what I was expecting at all, but I didn't really know what the heck the other one was. I guess it was just like a bud, I suppose. But it's a Budelf. Grass fairy type. It should be running around the forest and stuff. It leaks butter from its flower, and it is happy and when it makes new friends. What? It leaks butter from its flower when it's happy and when it makes new friends. Oh, I didn't read that right. It is said that you taste its butter, you will be granted eternal happiness. So they're basically corn, right? Or no, I'm not. Obviously, I don't know where butter comes from. I feel stupid for saying that out loud, but butter. So this was an interesting design. I like the second stage the most so far. It's grass fairy type. Yeah, this one's not Pokemon-esque at all. Like the previous, the last evolution definitely fits in Pokemon. The first one, I'm not even sure. I guess it could. This one, I don't know. I don't think it does. Once you taste the butter it gives off, you will bless with eternal joy. They love to help others who needs happiness. Onwards away! That's what the pose reminds me of. Yeah, I feel like I've been negative this entire time. I really don't mean to. I have to be fair with my criticisms when I'm saying all this stuff. And obviously some people might think I'm wrong. That's okay. You can share your opinion too, and you could explain why you disagree with me. That's okay. Just don't be a jerk about it. Simple as that. Here's Diller, by the way. It is a armor Pokemon. It's a Armadillo. I'm kind of curious to see what the evolutions will be because it's hiding its body. I kind of want to see, unless that's just how it is. Nonetheless, it's I wouldn't say it's simple. It's actually pretty decent because, you know, at least you can see the mouth and nose and everything. Well, not really the mouth. It's cool. I remember seeing El Dorado when they were using an Armadillo as a ball. It has Sandstream and Shell Armor, a weak armor ability as well as a hidden ability. Ground type Pokemon. It does evolve 2 more times. They roll into a hard balls, it says, in order to protect themselves. Their shells are made of solidified mud. Oh, that's pretty cool. I feel like this is different than Sandshrew though, which is a good thing. You know, it's okay to have similar animal Pokemon because they could be different concept based. Like for example, for Hippopotas and Hippowdon, it's a ground type hippo. When in my brain I think of hippos, I think that they're related to water. So there should be water hippos. So in that case, this should be fair. And there's many species of cats, which is why there's so many other cat Pokemon and dog Pokemon and such. So when there's Sandshrew, it's like an armadillo mouse. And this is just an armadillo. You know, it really emphasizes on the ball shape. Anyway, the next one is Armadrill. I actually do like this design. It's actually pretty good. It has a different feel to it too. Sandstream, Shell Armor, same abilities. They withdraw in their shell in order to look like spiked rocks. They dig deep into the earth in order to eat meal worms? Huh. I guess it eats like that one thing right here. It does evolve 1 more time. I don't even know what actual armadillos eat. Oh, I just saw the evolution. The evolution actually looks pretty dope. Okay, here it is. Armadillo. That looks pretty dope. One thing though, it reminds me of Anubis. I guess that's not really a negative thing. It actually makes it better, but it's still pretty cool. It might be just like the inner Donkey Kong 64 fan in me that's all like, I like Armadillo. But this is Armadillo. Really cool. I can't really see a better look on it though, to see if it rolls into a perfect ball. I assume it does, into a giant steel ball just like Armadillo. They curl into a ball and roll into enemies to inflict major damage. Well shit, that confirms it. Their shells are extremely durable and can break solid concrete. The hidden ability is still weak armor though. I guess that makes sense, I suppose. One of the abilities should be rough armor, because like the previous evolution has spikes and it pretends to be a spike ball. Maybe they didn't think all the way that through, but I like this Pokemon. I like the whole lineup. It's probably the best one yet. Mantor! It's a Mantis Pokemon. Not really what I thought when I saw Mantor, because I thought of like a Mantaurus or something. Buggrass Pokemon. Interesting color choices. I'm kind of curious to see what it would evolve into. Leaf Guard, Compound Ice, Effect Spore. Okay, I keep spoiling myself. Jesus Christ. It's an interesting Pokemon because it evolves pretty late. It evolves into level 32. It hides in gardens, disguised as a plant. Its tails give off spores that can create more plants. Okay, pretty interesting. So, I think I have to hold my criticism until I see the other evolution to see if it pays off. This is Orchid. Even though I already saw it, I just remember that. I would say I would like them. Like if I would feel different about it if it's drastically different. But yeah, cause like the first evolution, the only thing is like the white's very sickly, but it pays off to see that the final evolution. This is what I was trying to say with the whole Jinx thing, cause like if you see the final evolution turns into something that is not really appealing, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, because there's just thing as both. Like, you know, not every Pokemon should be pretty, but it pays off in the end with this final evolution, so I do approve. Could this fit in the anime? I think it can. Now that I'm looking at it, like if I put Metachan right over it, that would be a pretty clean fusion, but they kind of look a little bit similar with their poses and such, but I really shouldn't connect the dots there. That's a very wild correlation nonetheless. Here is Pastrub. Oh, I like this thing. Oh, it's so cute. It's a grass type Pokemon, Hyper Cutter or Grass Pelt, and it has a hidden ability of Harvest. Oh, what is it? Is it just like is it a baby cat? I don't know if it's a baby caterpillar. It has like, caterpillars don't have 4 legs, dude. I'm talking to myself. I'm not speaking in beyond to Dark and Windy, but it's really adorable. I actually like this one. They buried themselves in the ground disguised as everyday shrubs. They have a tendency to rest on people's heads because they enjoyed the feeling of hair and stubble. I wish like bugs didn't get in people's hairs and clothes and stuff, because lately there's been a lot of bugs in my area that does not want to leave. But nonetheless, this Pokemon is super cute. I like it a lot. This is probably one of my favorites as well. So far, that's 2 for 2, man. That's good. Crabrush, or is it Crabush? Crabush. And now that cuteness went away. Now it's a very vicious Pokemon. I still approve of this. It's actually a really good design as well. Just imagine just a bush just hiding and it just pops out. Oh, that would be scary. But yeah. Now, this is a good example of what I was trying to say earlier. Like, there's like appealing to actually look like a really cool looking Pokemon, and then a cute Pokemon, and then there's monstrous and then ugly Pokemon. You know, like the other video when I was finishing up Generation 1, I was trying to compare Drowsy and Hypno, and then Baku, and Baku is more appealing than Drowsy and Hypno. But none of them are considered pretty, right? None of them are considered kind of cool or whatever. Because, like, the Origins is a tapir that, you know, eats dreams and such. It's not meant to look pretty, but that's what I mean. With this one, it's more on the monstrous side. I guess it also could be considered in the cool side. But I do like this thing. It looks really good. It's well designed. So far, Dark and Windy has 2 for 2. Or I guess it's 4 for 4, since it's like a lot of Pokemon in the row. It stands still with its head and claws tucked into the bushy back, disguised itself as a normal bush. They sometimes use their claws to mow long grass for berries. Alright. It's 2 foot 11 though. I feel like shrubs are a little bit bigger than that, aren't they? Well, I guess 2 feet. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Alright. This is Juby. Another good design Pokemon. So far, you've been rocking them with these. Playful Pokemon. Chlorophyll and solar power as a water absorbability. So is this going to be a water Pokemon? Because now I'm getting an algae vibe from this, now that I've seen that. I see a King's Rock in the near future. First it evolves level 28, and when it's a male it evolves further. With King's Rock, female are not known to evolve. Well, that sucks for the female Jubies. Beloved by women. These little Pokemon are sometimes seen riding in purses. They love eating bitter berries and playing in wide open fields. Huh. I mean, I guess water absorb, like, you know, grass likes water, so I guess there's the correlation there. Yeah. Instead of beloved by women, they should put beloved by women and Scarknight. I like this thing too. I approve. Jugru, it's the evolution. It's decent. I think I like the first evolution a bit more. It says if it's male. Oh wait, no, never mind. If this is where it stops, if it's male or female. If it's female, it just stays this way. It's Jugru. It's decent. It you know, it's not like too amazing, but it might pay off in the last evolution nonetheless. It still has the same abilities. These Pokemon only eat berries that it deemed worthy to be eaten. And he looks at, like, he picks up one berry. So like, this berry is not worthy. This berry, however, is mighty delicious. I approve. It uses Juby to complete tasks for itself, such as bathing, feeding, and grooming. Okay, that kind of writes itself in an episode in an anime. But yeah, I could definitely see these in Pokemon for sure. Like the past good ones I've been saying could all fit in Pokemon so far. Nezumika. Wait, wasn't there like one more? I guess maybe it's a different generation. Let me see what number. I'm gonna try to block my view so I don't see it. 462. Okay, yeah, that's way off. That's a different generation, so we'll save it for some other time. I didn't see it at all. So yeah, Nezumika is the next Pokemon. Electric grass type. I mean, I do see the flower. Are there any flowers that I know that convert some type of electricity? I mean, maybe they should have like a potato that charges things. That's a weird correlation, but it's an actual one. It's the Tingle Pokemon. These Pokemon keep themselves buried using their flower-like tails to absorb sunlight that they can convert to electricity. They store electricity in their cheeks and send it into its paws, but because their power is so weak, it only gives an enemy a tingle. Okay. It doesn't really fit in my head that the flower is connected to this thing, but who knows? Maybe it will. Oh, this is one of the rodent Pokemon. It doesn't evolve to anything. I don't know. I don't think this fits Pokemon. Maybe a couple enemies, maybe.